Alright, before I start the video, I appreciate any support that I get as far as the new subscribers, as far as the people that's, in the comment section adding, your 2 cents. We dialogue, whatever the case may be, even if you disagree. Disagreements brings about, a conversation, and from that conversation, we can get a lot of understanding if we operate with an open mindset and really trying to, improve. So all of it is good, and I appreciate it. But to get into the video, I don't know the title yet, but it's going to be based along the lines of we need to redefine what being a man is, what manhood is, because I feel we're brought up with the idea of what makes us men, but that idea is flawed because we have so many character traits that are toxic, or person or ideal, just overall idea of what makes a man. A lot of that is very toxic, and as we're coming up, we're getting this from the people that's older than us. This is what make you a man. And so that's our idea, coming up as a child all the way up into manhood. And then what do? We then pass that to our kids, or we pass that to the younger generation. This is what makes you a man. This is what makes you a man. And a lot of that is problematic. Let's say, for instance, we may teach a young kid that, whether it's directly or indirectly, we feed into this ego thing. And our egos are very toxic a lot of times, to where, instead of being taught, how to keep your ego in check, we're taught to wear your ego on your sleeve. And then that leads to problems in our community, that leads to problems that we have with each other. So that's a part of what I'm talking about as far as our toxic idea of what manhood is flawed, and we need to change that. Another example I could think of, especially with the youngsters looking at, us as adults, or even people that's a little bit older than them. We got men out here that just, I don't know if it's looked at as cool, or better yet, I'm gonna come to that here in a minute. Let me go this route. How it's the problem, what makes a man, when you have a man come out here and stand up for women, and he doing it just because based off the principles of what a man is supposed to do, protect women, you will have men out here that will look at him as a simp, or call him, some other names. My videos for kids, and I don't try to be, flying off at the mouth on video anyway. So, but you know what I'm saying. It's all type of names that a man would get called for standing up for women. That shows you a flawed mentality that we have. But you will have those same men passing that same, mindset down to the younger generation. And so that's another reason why, that's another reason that could be looked at as what our idea of manhood is off. And not to get too deep into it, but it is something that we need to acknowledge, is that what I've come to understand with gaining an understanding of spirituality, and gaining an understanding of who I am as a man, who I'm supposed to be, is different, somewhat different from what the status quo says what a man should be. And what I mean by that, when you have an identity of yourself, a lot of things make sense, and you're not moved a lot of times by what the status quo is doing or what the status quo is saying. No matter, and I can use an example. I've been called a simp because I stand up for women, and I don't call women out their name. I never have, never will. And then a lot of men will call me weak for that. A lot of men will call me certain names for that. Now, a lot of people are influenced by peer pressure, but my understanding, what I came into, you get so set in your foundation from a spiritual standpoint that there's nothing nobody could say that would make you think that you're doing wrong, because you're standing for the principles of what a man actually is. So that's why I say, that's part of the reason why I say the mentality that a lot of we men have, it's toxic, and we got to stop passing it down to the younger generation. I think YouTube, social media has given the wrong individuals a platform to voice their opinion on certain things. Now, I am a person that enjoy perspectives, but I'm starting to see that too many perspectives has added to the confusion of what makes a man. And just to make it real quick, you got a lot of people out here that's speaking for men as a collective, whether they deal with relationships or just life coaches or whatever the case is. Like they come off as if they had a blueprint of this is what makes you a man, so on and so forth. And a lot of it is flawed. And a person like me just sitting back listening, it's like, y'all really look to these people to give you insight on what makes a man, what makes a relationship work, what's a good quality life, so on and so forth. And I try not to be too judgmental of those people that's looking at those individuals that's giving their advice, but I'm like, y'all upholding these people as if they giving some life-changing advice, and it's like, no, they mentality is off. Like, it's so many holes in stuff that I've heard, but you have people praising it as if it's liquid gold or something. So I only say that to say that that's going into these perspectives, and then us thinking we have it all figured out as far as what makes a man, and then we passing it on to the younger generation, and then the cycle never stops. So at some point, we gotta stop doing what's not working and figure out a new way of doing that. So all in all, we gotta redefine what manhood really is.